Hello, my name is Sophia Hatcher, and this is my digital story. I live here in Indianapolis, and I am the youngest sibling out of 8 kids. Since I was a young child, or really since I could remember last, I have always had a fascination with technology. When I was younger, my family had a old-fashioned typewriter, and it was electronical. And by the age of 7, I had gotten my first desktop computer. And ever since then, I was just completely hooked to anything that was different, from computers, new cell phones, and various other technology. When I had entered middle school, I had became a part of a program that was STEM major related. So that was science, technology, engineering, or mathematics. The program was called Science Bound. It was a program that was associated with Purdue University here in Indiana. And within the program, I would stay from middle school all the way until I graduate. I would go to different science camps in the summer, and on a regular basis during school, I would go to these meetings and I would learn about different things and different types of science experiments in these classes. And with the outcome of being in this class, once I graduated, Purdue University was going to reward me a tuition based only scholarship, but I had to take a STEM major in order to be granted that scholarship. I was really good with science. I really did like technology, and for a long time when I was going through middle school and high school, and when it came down to the wondering what it was I wanted to do with my life, I thought that I wanted to get into agriculture. As I was going through this science program with school, I had founded a new hobby. It was graphic designing. I remember actually I would graphic design pictures from the Harry Potter movie. I really have to say that it was that franchise that really got me into graphic design. By the age of 16, I was still graphic designing. And from my hobby, I knew that I actually was not as into science as I thought I was. I really enjoyed the passion from graphic designing and just how happy I was whenever I was able to create something. When I started high school, I was enrolled in a different type of classroom setting. The program was a project based learning, and I would team up in groups. There was always 2 teachers in the class, and we would learn by doing projects in our groups. We would collect information, put all together, and then we would present them at the end of the time of the class. So the school was pretty much almost as the same as how Full Sail is when it comes to doing projects together with other people. When presenting that, I was also getting a lot of different skills as far as with presentation and public speaking skills. I knew from that point, being in that new high school program, that I did not want to pursue anything in science, or I didn't want to pursue anything as far as when it comes to agriculture. I knew that I wanted to do something in graphic designing, but I knew graphic designing wasn't the sole purpose of it. So I had gained graphic designing skills, I had gained presentation and public speaking skills. And I wanted to take all of that and use it for a really cool job for my future. But I did not know exactly what that job was. I soon found myself creating this office. I was I had a name for it. I knew exactly what the office was going to look like, and that was going to be my graphic design studio or firm. I had already created a list of all the software and all the hardware that I need to complete this office. And I had also came up with what I wanted to do in this office. But I didn't have a name for it. I didn't know what it was called. I knew that it was called advertising, and that was it. When I had graduated high school, I had moved on to IU Purdue University in Fort Wayne. I was majoring in media communications, and I was going through a lot of cool things and a lot of different cool activities, and I was really figuring out what it was that I wanted to do. During my first years of high school and college, I was also into traveling. I knew that whatever career that I was going to end up with, that I wanted to travel and see the world along with that career. It was finally at the end of 2013 where I had it with the colleges here in Indiana. I just felt that, here in the Midwest, the colleges really focuses on medical field and only STEM major. I felt as though journalism, public relations, advertising, music, all the fun, artsy type majors were not getting the recognition that they deserved. And also, the market is very small here for Indiana at that time. So I started researching and started looking at different schools because, I was going through IU and Purdue University, and I was really getting tired of the fact that I had to take all these unnecessary classes in order to get to the primary major classes on the stuff that I wanted to learn in order to figure out what it was I wanted to do with myself. That is where a family member told me about Full Sail University. He is actually going through the school for music production, and he was telling me how, the school automatically, right off the bat, is very welcoming, and they give you the classes that you need in order to succeed, and they treat you like you are already in the industry. So that is how I got to Full Sail, from a recommendation from someone else. And I've actually been very happy with that choice. I, you know, been excelling through my classes, and I have finally figured out what it was, after all these years, what it was that I wanted to do with myself. After all the graphic designing, after all the creations of advertising and learning new skills through high school, I had finally figured out what it was I wanted to do. It was back in March when I figured that I wanted to become a brand specialist. From all the things that I was doing from middle school up until now, that is what I want to be. It plus all of the skills that I know best together in one name. I figured that this is what I want to do with my life from watching one of Full Sail's behind the scenes video. They were doing an interview with Phil Pollen. He's a past Full Sail graduate, and he is also himself a brand strategist. So this was my digital story. I am Sophia Hatcher, and thank you for listening.